What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media, and This Is Difficult Video Game Podcast. I'll be one of your hosts this evening. Watching Paint Dry is the show where we hang out on a Saturday night long after we should have thought about going to bed and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures that we've accumulated over the years that require painting. There's an old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of projects to paint, he or she will die, so we're just trying to stave off death for as long as possible. And joining me on the line, as always, my perennial painting partner, our resident monkey handler, it's Broody Gambit. Mike, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Glad to be here.
Me too. It's been a little while. We were off last week because I was on a ski vacation, and boy, was that fun. We had a great time. Me and my cousins and my brother and my dad tearing it up at Jay Peak in Vermont, up in the 802. But we're back. We're out here painting minis. We got a couple of Brotherhood of Mutants characters to do tonight. I'm continuing work on Scarlet Witch, and Mike is working on Pyro. Remote Error says, was there snow? Yes, there was. Quite a bit of it, actually. As a matter of fact, it snowed while we were there, so we had fresh snow to work with, at least on Sunday. So that was pretty cool. As with all the shows that we host on the Another Letdown Media channel, as well as the This Is Difficult podcast network at large, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and in being as inclusive as possible. So any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. So let's paint. Hey, RPD. RPD been a little absent because not so fond of my Chrono Trigger streams, and I respect it. It's fine. But it's good to have you back, man. So I'm up to the point with this mini where I need to start picking out some of the detail in her chaos magic stuff. So what I'm thinking of doing is just laying out a blend of 3 different shades of pink on my wet palette and just seeing what comes together. And then I'll hit it with the fluorescent paint. Oh Jesus, she's fine. What happened if I zoomed out? That might. There you go. Now I can see what I'm doing. Now I can see what I'm working with. The Green Stuff World fluorescent paint, sort of as a final effort. I think that's my plan. This is still like her face is far and away. This doesn't show up very well on camera, but it is far and away one of the best faces I've ever painted on a mini ever. So I'm really determined not to screw that up. So happy April Fool's Day, everybody, at the end of it. RPD, I guess you're April 2nd, so, you know, you made it. You survived. Yeah, so since, you know, let's just say 2020, I feel like April Fool's Day is kind of like, you don't do that anymore. My 4th graders came into my classroom yesterday all up in arms like, what are you going to do to us? Are you going to come in over the weekend and prank us? And I was like, no, I've got a kid now. I'm going to be at home dealing with the kid. And they didn't believe me. Yeah, you definitely thrive in any sort of prank environment, RPD. That is distinctly the case. Alright, so I've got this little, like, it's not going to show up very well on camera, I don't think, but I got this little, like, red gradient going on my wet palette here. I'm just going to kind of pick colors from it and see what happens. Start sort of filling in some of this white space. So, did you see the Arkham Horror April Fool's joke, though?
I did see it. The Blobsmith.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And RPD brings up the Sonic the Hedgehog murder mystery visual novel. That was pretty good. But yeah, there really weren't all that many like really off the charts pranks this year. Chris Pratt did claim that he was the new voice of Mickey Mouse. That I thought that was funny.
Oh, I saw somewhere that like Michael Rosenbaum was supposed to be Lex Luthor in the new James Gunn Superman.
Oh, that's a good one. The musician that I'm about to see tomorrow claimed to have pneumonia. I was like, please no. But that one was a slow roll because he set it up two days ago. But he made the post in his native Finnish. Just like on the US like tour sheets. And we were like, scrambling to translate? That's just rude though. I'm not familiar with 433 RPD. Or maybe I am and I'm just not thinking of it. Oh, right. Okay, yes, I have heard of that. The music teacher I used to work with told me about that song. Song is the wrong word there, but you know what I mean.
I hate working with yellow.
It is the pits. So have you put any thought into what it will be your Wheel of Random Regret punishment?
No, I have not actually.
Because I think I just came up with what mine is. Like, this afternoon. I was pawing through the cabinet because I was desperate for food and I'd been holding the baby all day. And I'll be honest with you, like, when you're the parent of an 8-month-old, she basically requires constant attention. So eating is like becomes second tier. And by the end of the day, I'm absolutely famished. So like today, I had to go to the grocery store and I was like feeling woozy. I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I realized it's because I hadn't eaten all day. Anyway, so I go to the cabinet. I'm looking around, and I found a package of 2-year-old beef sticks, like Slim Jim sort of thing, that are ghost pepper seasoned. They've not only expired, but they're also seasoned with ghost pepper.
That sounds exciting.
So April the 21st, Trapped in Arkham fundraiser stream. Every $50 donated, you have a chance of seeing me eat that on camera. And we're starting the stream with a wheel spin, by the way, because my wife's aunt already contributed $50. We start with a wheel spin and a bunch of clues, so that's nice. For the purposes of making a formal announcement, we will be raising money for the Dartmouth Cancer Center in Dartmouth, the Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center in Hanover, New Hampshire. I do a charity bike-a-thon situation ride thing, 100-mile ride, every year with my family, and this year I'm trying to raise in excess of the $150 entry fee that I will need. It's gonna be pretty cool. A lot of cool people. We got some special guests. Alex the Baboon will be joining me in the studio. That's always a lot of fun. RPD can attest to that. He was here for the 9-hour Gears stream that we did. There's a possibility we'll get to do another charity show in May.
Oh yeah?
Yep. My friend's daughter it made it to the some national science fair situation, and they're raising money for that. All the while having to pay for my friend's breast cancer treatment, so they've got bills to pay. So holy crap, that Luke versus Vader with the Emperor watching model for Gen Con.
Yeah.
That thing is dope.
Yes, very much so. At first, when they announced it, it was only going to... their first announcement was just during Star Wars Celebration in Europe. And yeah. I was like, well, that sucks. And then, like a couple days later, they announced it for Gen Con also. And I was like, oh, well, that's more reasonable.
Yes, you know people who are going to that.
Yep. I wish I could go.
I'll admit it's a bit of a struggle this year for me. Like, I have a lot working in my favor to kind of make it happen, but it gets trickier and trickier every year, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Con announced that Cthulhu will be one of the... Well, somebody better bring a boat then. And a grizzled sea captain. See that giant squid over there? Yep, we're going to need a bigger boat. Yeah, for real. Remote error gets it in one. So I watched a really cool bit of, I guess it's a technology demo, really, today, or actually just before we went live. It was a co-op, but not Super Metroid run. So whenever a player gets an item, the other player gets that item too, and you share health and ammo.
Oh, cool.
Now, like, to enjoy that, you have to be pretty good at Super Metroid. Like, that much is clear. But it would be fun to mess around with either way. Like, they beat the game in 30 minutes dead.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, which is functionally unheard of. Like, without you know, that backbone. Like, world record pace is somewhere in the 40s for unmodded Super Metroid. Sub 1 hour is considered extremely good. My best time is probably still well over 2 hours. But I'm not really paying attention to it. Because I always get sidetracked collecting extra items, things that I don't need, whatever. But it's so cool to see, and they were playing on hardware, so the Super Nintendos were genuinely talking to each other. It was so cool to see. As I, lie on the couch with my Switch trying to play Fusion. It's looking better than I thought. Oh, I did see another, just backtracking for, bless you. Backtracking for a moment, I did see an advertisement from the BBC. Their April Fool's prank was that they were gonna, or I guess it was BBC America. They were gonna spin off Doctor Who, starring Bruce Campbell.
Hmm.
I was like, well, that's funny.
I think I saw another one that was like a Star Wars one that said that they were making a Darth Jar Jar movie.
I mean, it is Jar Jar. The whole series is Jar Jar's fault. I do feel genuinely bad for what is it? Ahmed Best, is that his name?
Yeah.
Like, the guy, he's a decent actor. And he just got stuffed with this part that he'll never be able to shake that. And it wasn't his fault. He took the work, you know?
Yeah, and he did what he was told.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the sitcom Spaced with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost?
No.
One of my favorite sitcoms ever. There's a scene in it where, as it came out, that show was airing right about the same time The Phantom Menace came out, or shortly after, I guess. And there's a scene in it where Simon Pegg's character sets fire to all his Star Wars stuff in the Return of the Jedi pyre situation, and has a shouting match with a small child about how Phantom Menace is garbage. And there's some part of me that agrees with him. You know, Phantom Menace is a hot mess. But and more specifically, it's one that I will probably never watch again at this point. But that's not the fault of any of the actors involved. In fact, many of them I quite love. Natalie Portman is fantastic. Obviously, Liam Neeson is a freaking legend.
Yeah.
And Ewan McGregor is delightful. And who's the guy who plays Darth Maul? Is it, it's the guy who plays Toad in X-Men.
Yeah, Ray Park.
Ray Park, thank you.
He was just the body. The guy who did the voice was I forget his name.
Oh yeah, but the voice was irrelevant. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, Darth Maul, I think, would have been a more successful character if he was just silent.
I mean, for the whole like 2 lines of dialogue that he did have.
Say again.
Aside from like all of the 2 lines that he actually did have.
Yeah, they just seemed unnecessary. Like, let him be silent. Let him stand on his own. Or let his combat prowess stand on its own. Not all poetry rhymes, RPD. Matter of fact, my students are studying poetry right now, my Monday after-school students, and they're having a great time with it, and most of their poems don't rhyme. And it's not just because they're middle schoolers, either. They're actually quite successful at writing poems. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, once again, my ADD takes over and just forgets what we were talking about. I presume you saw the news that there's going to be a Scott Pilgrim anime?
I did see that. You posted it Friday?
Thursday or Friday, yeah. I'm glad they announced it when they did, because I would not have believed it, today. But they all seem so excited about it, and that really does give me hope. I mean, I am on record as not being the biggest anime fan in the world. There are a few that I like, and most just I don't care about. But Scott Pilgrim is a property that I adore with every ounce of my being. And I cannot wait to see that as a reality. Because that's the like film treatment that it deserves, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how you can be the most faithful to the original comic book medium. Now that said, like the movie like the movie was great, but it can only do like there's a limitation to what you can do on even with green screens and whatever. Like there's certain aspects of those books that just you could never do justice to on the screen. And I think Edgar Wright knew that when he made it. Here we're back on Simon Pegg and Nick Frost movies, but when you adapt that to the small screen, you can really pull out all the stops and have a lot of fun with it. So I'm really interested to see where they go with it. Yeah, the movie is absolutely the best version of itself that it could be. I completely agree with that statement, RPD. But it's not the best version of the comic books that could be. And I do think... Or the best filmed version of the comic books. If that makes any sense. So that was actually sort of debunked. There like I've watched the movie. There are plenty of scenes where the actors blink. But I believe it's specifically during the action scenes that they were encouraged not to blink. But I guess there were some health and safety concerns that, like, Edgar Wright wasn't allowed to say, no, you cannot blink. If you want to see what happens when someone goes a prolonged period without blinking, watch Taskmaster Series 6? I think the one with Rod Gilbert. I think it's Series 6. We'll find out here. Hang on. No, Series 7. I'm sorry, Series 7. Right, I got just a little more to go here. non-mandated educational time and watch Kunk on Britain. I don't know that one. I've been listening to a bunch of British podcasts. Off Menu is a particularly good one right now. New episode with Florence Pugh was very funny. She tends to be.
So I went to go see D&D today.
Okay.
And it was pretty good. It was fun. Like pacing was off. It was really fast. They tried to cram a whole lot of stuff in.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was pretty good.
I am completely done with Dungeons and Dragons. I just, after what they tried to pull, I'm just like, I can't with Wizards anymore. I just can't. I've been kind of sick and tired of them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the final straw. I was just like, I'm just not dealing with this company anymore. So I will likely not see that movie. Which is unfortunate, because there was a time when I was looking forward to it. And Chris Pine is delightful in pretty much everything. I'm that one guy who loved him as Captain Kirk.
I liked him as Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I thought he was good. He's not Bill Shatner, but he's not trying to be. Oh, Capcom USA. I don't know if you noticed this. Capcom USA dropped all of Mega Man Network transmission or NT Warrior on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've been watching that while I cook this week. I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty excited about the Battle Network re-release.
Yeah, same here.
Games were fun.
I never really played them, so it'll be a first for me.
They are a wildly non-traditional Mega Man experience.
Yeah.
While at the same time, they still maintain the essence of Mega Man in some bizarre way. All right, well. I think that's okay. Let's go for another layer with the neon here, but that'll do. I'll put the base coat down on the base. Give myself some time to think about it. That's my, oh, that's the problem. Oh. You are not supposed to be in the middle of the paint tray, you're supposed to be in the top corner. Yeah, they're really going all in on the Battle Network collection. The only thing that's going to be missing is actual Mega Man Network transmission. Which I would love to play again. It's been a long time since I played that one. It's GameCube. What are you doing? Guess I'm still watching. Dum dum.
See a remaster of Command Mission.
What's that?
I would love to see a remaster of Mega Man Command Mission.
That's another one I haven't seen in a while. I haven't done in a while. If I can ever get, I mean, so I do have a way to get a GameCube hooked up to my stream capture. If I can ever get one, you know, that, network transmission is something I would consider streaming. But that's another question for another day. In other news, it's warming up to the point now where I can do some primering and soon some 3D printing, I hope.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was going to say it was 73 here today.
Yeah, it was, okay. So the weather here was dumb. We got 4 inches of snow overnight, and then it was 53 degrees by the time I went to the grocery store this afternoon.
That's almost like a North Carolina day.
I mean, that's a bog standard New Hampshire day. The old saying is, if you don't like the weather around here, just wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, they say that around here also.
It's pretty common on the eastern seaboard, just in general. And I do think it has something to do with the ocean currents on some level. But I'm no meteorologist. I was complaining about the weather this morning, and my wife goes, "Yeah, but you're always wrong about the weather." I was like, "I'm never wrong about the weather. The weather people on television are wrong about the weather. But I'm not a meteorologist, nor a weather person on television." You know my favorite thing that weather people on television do, though?
What?
Oh, you're in Michigan or whatever? Yeah, that's, I guess. Yeah, well, Michigan's got, like, lake effect and stuff. Weathermen on television, like, they like to sound more important than they really are. So they'll make, like... they'll make, like, these ridiculous phrasings up. Things like, I once heard, I'm not making this up, this is 100% real. I once heard a weather person on the Weather Channel talk about a rain event. I'm like, what on earth is a rain event? Do I need to get tickets? Let's not talk about shower activity because it sounds more important than showers. Why are people like that? Like, call things what they would or what they are, will you please? I turn on the Weather Channel not to hear a 5-minute diatribe about this supposed rain event. Just tell me it's going to rain so I can know whether or not to bring my umbrella. Although if I do bring my umbrella, it basically guarantees that it won't rain because I'm simply carrying an umbrella, only to make me look ridiculous. Well, in deference to painting with yellow, which sucks, painting with gray is usually quite efficient and easy.
Yep. Ugh.
So I'm curious, Mike.
Yeah.
Months ago, Adam and I were like, we're not going to be buying any AMG models anymore. What keeps you going back?
I guess even though I don't get to play that much, being able to get like the actual play cards and all that stuff, so when I do want to play, I can actually play it.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
Because I do like the Crisis Protocol game. The game is fun.
The game's great. I've played it once at this point, digitally, but yeah, I guess that's fair. The communities that I get the 3D print files from are usually pretty good about like collecting those when they come out and just sending digital copies to people who need them. Where is... Oh, right in front of me. Put down a few strategic drops of ink, red ink, and see what happens. I really like the sort of broken where the white shows through on the energy stuff. I do think that came out pretty nice. But it'll look better once the neon's down. Did I see correctly that our boy Alice Cooper's back out on tour?
think so.
Nice. I don't think he's coming anywhere near us this time, but me, that is. Always a good show. Nanowar of Steel. Don't know that, RPD. But I do know you know well enough to know that you'll probably tell me what that is. If I ask politely. RPD, would you please tell me what that is? Somewhat comical metal band. They do legit songs with odd subject matters. Nice. I respect that. Did you see, Mike? Do you know? Are you familiar with the band Steel Panther?
No.
They're sort of a parody '80s hair band. But the problem, like, their lyrics are so like over the top and definitely not politically correct that they're having to tread very softly these days.
Mm-hmm.
Singles for the latest album have all been amazing. They did a dead-on impression of Sabaton. About the finals of the 94 World Cup? Oh, right. Is the orange one? Yeah. Pasadena, 1994. I'll have to check that out, RPD. I just got the new record by mine and my wife's favorite recording artist, Andrew McMahon. At least it came in through Apple Music, whatever they're calling it these days, because vinyls take forever to get pressed and get places. Looking forward to listening to that tomorrow. On my way to another concert, my friend and I have these rules that rules of concert going etiquette. Rule number 1 is you don't wear the shirt of the band you're going to see. It makes you look like a tool. These rules are very, like, tongue-in-cheek. And rule number 2 is to maximize the concert-going experience, don't listen to the band you're about to see for at least a week. So I'm always looking for things. When I see a band that I listen to all the time, I'm always looking for other things to listen to during that week.
What happens if you buy a t-shirt at the venue?
Tie it to your belt.
Okay.
We also, and like the rules go on. Like there's, I think we're up to like 23 rules. And like some of them pertain to, you know, maximizing efficiency in merch lines as well. Oh, that's okay, RPD. I'll just jot it down and throw it into Apple Music. There, got it. Done. Okay. Inking went really fast on that mini. Mostly because there wasn't much to ink. Pasadena 94, Disco Metal, and Winter Storm in the Moonlight. Yeah, those are the first. Yep, those are the ones that came up first. And it's proof that I did it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do Hydrix with shade on the base. Okay. Videos, as you're well aware, are tougher for me to find time for, but I'll do my best. Music videos are a little bit easier for me to get time for because I can sometimes listen to them at work. Especially if my boss is having a meeting. Now, metal probably isn't going to fly as easily, but like being accidentally privy to sensitive information. And that happens a lot with the walls as thin as they are. Okay. Highlighting. Most of that is just dry brushing, which is easy enough. Oh, cool. CD copy, huh? Now we're getting somewhere. So I'm kind of just dry brushing the highest parts of her knees. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of red left on that brush. It kind of didn't work the way I wanted it to, but I guess it's okay. It's not bad.
You're having to go back to dry brushing?
For certain materials, yeah. So like when I'm doing fabric, right? Fabric, honestly, it's fabric and specific like painted metal. And in specific, Wanda's sort of bodysuit that's under her, like the rest of her costume, is spandex. I messed that up badly. It's gone badly wrong.
Ooh.
Stupid brush. Some of my brushes just hold water way too long.
Yeah.
there was also the feeling of picking up while I was someone who was organized and protected some portion from being exposed to its side. All right, I think we're up to neon time.
Neon, nice.
Yeah. Take a quick glance, see what you think. Prior to neonization.
Looks really good.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So, one of these. Come on, camera, do your thing. There we go. That's better. I really like the white spot. Like I wasn't sure if I was gonna like the white, but I really do. I think it works. Neon power. I have a former student who she's applying for art teacher jobs, and I was like, just thinking to myself, how would I? If you know, how does one start a letter of recommendation for a student who outwardly appears very like goth dress type person, but it like at the core of her being is like her color pattern would be aggressively neon. Yeah, yeah.
It's really difficult to wash.
Pyro?
Yeah.
How so?
I don't like any of the colors.
Ah.
Like I tried the Cassandra yellow, and it just didn't look right over the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm trying Caresburg Crimson over the red, and it's better than the yellow, but
Still not ideal.
yeah.
I too am fighting with my paints. This red is not really doing anything to change the tone. It almost is going on like a clear coat. That's not helpful. Which begs the question, is it even going to react to the black light? Like, is there enough pigment in here to do anything? This is really only one way to find out.
See the black light?
Go over to my desk or go over to my display cabinet and see if it reacts. 2 seconds. Oh, wow. I don't know what I was worried about. Oh. Oh my god. It looks sick. I wish I could show it on camera. It looks really cool. I'm still gonna put the pink layer in there, but hey, Broody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm really not a fan of?
No.
Elevator music. It's just bad on so many levels.
Yes, that is true, and you should have bet.
I'm surprised chat hasn't sent me to bed yet. For the record, the reason I'm just kind of sitting here right now is I'm waiting for that layer to dry. I'm a little concerned about painting the next one over it because it's still pretty sloppy.
This is what I got so far.
Looking all right. I think you're gonna need some highlighting on the raised parts of his knees.
Yeah. I'm trying to get like a good base coat of yellow on it to begin with.
Yeah. I had to dull out this pink a little bit. It's just a little too aggressive. Should still react though. So we started that new Champions campaign last night.
Yes, the Mojo.
Yeah. First of all, that first match was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
I definitely misjudged some timings a couple of times, but like in general, no problem. I love the way that Rocket plays. It's not your standard hyper aggression deck. It's very much a thinking man's aggression deck.
Mm-hmm.
Which is in keeping with Rocket, I think.
So what made you two choose the Rocket and Groot for the X-Men Mojoverse campaign?
Something different.
Okay.
The X-Men characters that I would want to use aren't available yet. I think is the biggest problem. Like, as far as I know, there's no Kitty deck. There's no
what?
Shadowcat.
There's Shadowcat.
Wait, Shadowcat's in?
Yeah.
Why did I not
She
see
was in the box set for the Mutant Genesis.
Oh.
It was her and Colossus.
Then I'm just an ignoramus.
And she's an aggression deck.
The classy gentleman's version of aggro sounds distinctly how I play Yu-Gi-Oh! When I have my deck that I really want built. But no, I mean, like, there was a part of me that was just like, I don't want to play an X-Men character here. I want to bring something just completely wild and off the path. And I looked down and saw Rocket. I'm like, yep, we're playing Rocket. And there's another, knowing that most likely my next deck will be Cable. Step away from the X-Men for a moment.
Yeah. I was very excited that my Gambit deck worked well.
Oh, it does. I really like the way that Gambit deck plays.
Like, I tried to build it out since he can actually thwart on the alter ego side. I tried to maximize the whole actions that he can just do in his alter ego to so he can stay in alter ego longer.
Yeah.
So there's like confuse the villains. There's things that just trigger off of clearing off threat, off of the schemes that you can just interrupt and deal him damage or do other things. And then you can kind of just pop over into the hero mode to deal some damage when you need to.
Which, considering Rocket and Groot, you very rarely have to do.
Yeah. Until I needed to do 19 points of damage in one turn.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool, RPD. I guess. That sounds an awful lot like a lot to me like you don't play this game, and I don't like things that do that. They bother me. I guess that's why I never got into playing that game, RPD. That, and I honestly didn't really care for the property all that much. Man, the Carisburg Crimson wash matched so well with the base coat that I've got half a mind to not bother to highlight her cloak. I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah, sometimes the wash does a great job and doesn't need any.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
At least at the level we're painting. Like, I'm sure there are people who paint better than we do that were like, no, you gotta do all this thing. And I'm like, no, I really don't.
Yeah, how's that looking?
It's better. It still looks very grimy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, you're clearly going for, like, let me get my pyro. Hang on. It is very clear to me that you and I went different directions with it. I'll zoom in. Oh, Scarlet Witch keeps falling over. So here's my pyro.
Yeah.
I very clearly went, TV show with it.
Mm-hmm.
Where you went, a little more modern comics, I guess, with it.
Yeah.
So that to say, like, it doesn't look bad. It just looks very grimy. Like, almost oily. I need a brown that I can mix with some orange. Ugh. Did you do the highlight layer before the ink was fully dry? Because there are parts of it that look shiny.
I didn't ink the whole thing.
Okay.
Except for like the reds, which I did. Except for like in some of the deep crevices that I avoided.
Okay.
It's still a smidge wet. Yeah, the one leg is pretty much the extent that I did in with the wash, and I ended up dabbing it off.
Fair. All right, I'm just gonna paint the base ring here, and then we can get out of here.
Okay.
It's one of those ones that I know it's good, and I'm sick of looking at it. And every time I look at it, I'm just like, poke it with this, poke it with a stick.
Yeah.
And if I start poking it too aggressively, it'll get bad.
Yep.
Probably the same sort of red. Is it the pink? It's probably the pink, right?
Pink. Yeah, pink would be the optimal choice.
Okay. Let's go with this one. I think. Yeah. That's a good color. All right. Come on. Fine, my paint's decided to be uncooperative.
So I ended up playing Arkham today.
Card game?
Yep.
How'd it go?
Awful.
Oh no.
So we replayed Scenario 4 of Forgotten Age, The Boundaries Beyond Time.
Oh yes.
Because
that one well.
That scenario is probably the worst designed scenario in the entire game.
Yeah.
Maybe not worst designed, but it is impossibly hard to the point where it's not even fun.
Is that the one? I don't want to spoil anything. Or you've played Forgotten Age, though, haven't you?
I've played, yeah. So yeah.
So is that the one with the Yithian library?
No.
Okay.
It Scenario 4. It's the one where you're like traveling through and like Mexico City, and it's
it's Mexico City. Okay, no, I follow you completely. Oh yeah, no, brutal.
I got my 4th point of physical trauma.
Oh my god.
Starting out with 2 was probably not a wise choice.
Yeah, that was a dumb idea. How did you end up starting out with 2? I know, but for viewers.
Sorry. I took In the Thick of It for starting experience.
Yes. That card causes you physical trauma.
Well, you can have a choice, but...
Right, yeah. But that's basically, like, you almost always do that.
Yeah. When my character starts with 8 health and 6 sanity, I took 2 physical trauma to be at 6/6 instead of, like, 7/5.
Right.
Which was a mistake. I probably should have done 1 and 1.
Yeah, I think, knowing the Forgotten Age, I would have done 1 and 1. That's all right, RPD. I tuned it out a little bit because I just, like I said, it's not a property that I know anything about and can't really offer anything. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played Arkham card game. You know, Baby will do that.
Yep.
I'm just glad we get to play 2nd edition coming up. I gotta find some clever ways of advertising that stream too.
Yeah, look at the size difference between Sabretooth and Pyro.
What?
Sabretooth is huge.
That makes no sense.
I mean, I get that he's supposed to be like bigger in general.
He shouldn't be a full. Is he a full base size bigger?
Nope, he's the same base size.
Okay, well, at least there's that. The Sabretooth, that must be from the Nemesis kit, or whatever
It
they're
is.
calling it.
Yeah, the Rivals panel.
That's the one. Because I was going to say, Sabretooth is already out. He's in my display cabinet right next to Iron Fist, where he belongs. Okay, as ever.
Ooh, it doesn't even fit underneath here to try and show off.
Holy mackerel.
But yeah, like that pops out, and you can put Sabretooth and Wolverine comes in the bottom here.
Huh.
I gotta paint the snow. That's kind of where I'm at.
So, snow is interesting. Adam showed me a really interesting technique. Well, I mean, while we're live, let's go through it.
Yeah.
Because this is quality painting knowledge. Let me get Omega Red. So what I would do things a little bit differently. I would paint like this sort of. Oh, I guess I need to zoom in again. Omega Red's got this sculpted like snow chunk here, which I painted like white and then like glossy ice blue. I think it was this blue horror mixed with some white. And then around the edges of things to make it more realistic, that's pony glue and sand. And then again painted with that same glossy blue horror white, which makes it like, especially with that panel, there's a fair amount of dirty snow kicking around. In addition to just like plain white snow. So, I don't know. It's just something to consider. Might make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Just go out and get some fine sand.
I've got some.
Yeah. All right, let's get Scarlet Witch back on the camera real quick. Show off the final product here. I am quite fond of how she turned out. Once again, the base ring really tying it all together. Whether it's a color or a black, the base ring really, I mean, it punches up. It's astonishing how much a good base ring will punch up a model. Or just a good base in general. So there we are. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're gonna kill it a little bit early so we can go to bed at a reasonable hour tonight. Semi-reasonable. Thank you all for tuning in to watching paint dry tonight. We will be back for more of this next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Hint, hint. I'll be probably painting Batman. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? And I will be back on my birthday. That's Monday. Playing Chrono Trigger at about probably, well, after my daughter goes to sleep. So probably looking about 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Mike, this is always an absolute joy. I love hanging out with you, man. It's a good time.
Yep, I enjoyed as well.
And chat, you've all been terrific. You've both been terrific. And we'll talk to you real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.
See ya. Yeah. Awesome. Old fashioned way. Okay.